What's the way, YouTube? If you're new to my channel, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're the final subscribers, so also have to notify. With that being said, Trapler Ross has a 2-hour documentary called "Rapping Hitman with 8 Bodies Still on the Run." BloodHound Q50. So this is the BloodHound Q50 story. Obviously, I did the Lil Jeff video, so if you didn't go see that, go check that out because I did that one. But now I'm gonna do this BloodHound Q50 one again. 2 hours. I think the other one was maybe like 3 hours or 4. So I finna try to like knock this out. So let's get into it.
Have been a war zone for decades now. The city has one of the longest histories with gangs operating in the area, whether the Black Disciples, Gangster Disciples, Black Pea Stones, or dozens of other gangs that have operated there over the years. There's always groups waving their flag and fighting for dominance in every corner of the city. Gang wars in Chicago were a thing long before drill music emerged in the 2010s, with many of these gang-affiliated youths getting on the mic and documenting the bloody battles on their blocks, creating songs about the violence, many of which became hits. From Chief Keef to Lil Durk to King Von and FBG Duck. The songs these rappers made laid down the history of life in the streets of Chicago through jaw-dropping lyrics about killing.
You saying what you want? They on the box right now. On the box right now.
I covered Chicago's
I did that.
Aspiring serial killer, Bloodhound, or Bloody
3
Hound,
hours,
Jeff,
yeah.
the rapping hitman who himself claimed to have killed 11 people before his own untimely death. As those paying attention to the drill rap scene know, Jeff was seemingly on his way to becoming a major star.
Superstar, bruh. Superstar.
Was seemingly as hated amongst the drill fans as it was liked, but perhaps even more by his wild antics on social media and brazen lyrics bragging that he had indeed killed 10.
It seemed like he was like getting his groove when it come to rapping, like he was just getting his flow and shit situated.
In June 2024, he would lose his life in a truly harrowing way, getting gunned down while literally chasing a man into a house whilst wildly shooting in his direction. With the security camera video of these events going viral soon after his passing, showing
all that shit is on Reddit too. That's insane. You can put anything on Reddit. Literally anything.
And while Jeff isn't here anymore to take advantage of this virality, it would blow up his already existing fame to a whole new level, making him the latest poster boy for what the new generation of Chicago drill looks like, both on wax and in the streets, where killing has seemingly become so normalized that you have to at least claim to have several murders under your belt to even dream of making a name for yourself in music, and still attempting to.
It'd be hard, bro, because like it seems like a lot of times nowadays, like you can be a good artist, and if you ain't like living what you rap, or you ain't like the sound the fans want to hear, you just not gonna blow up. Like it's gonna be hard for you to blow up if you just a rapper. You got to do all the other stuff like outside of rap. So it's kind of weird how rap is nowadays.
Major record labels looking to sign you. However, the story of Lil Jeff,
like you gotta be a rapper, you gotta have a fake image, you gotta be standing on business. Like I mean, but then again, there's some people out there who really do, who live with their rap. So and more often than not, they blow up. So yeah, Q50 is insane, bro. Q50 be telling us what we don't need to know.
Shooting that would claim Jeff's life, beside Jeff himself, Q50 is seemingly the only other person to have been identified as allegedly being at the scene with Jeff. Because while Jeff and his accomplices were wearing masks during their attack, a still image from a security
camera. My hair getting long, bro. Give me about 2 months, boy. I'm gonna have them, boy.
The exact same distinctive red tracksuit that one of the shooters at the scene had been wearing too. Indeed, it appears that while Jeff was still alive, Q50 cared more about the streets than rapping. And although he would participate in making music, particularly by featuring on songs together with Jeff, he seemingly had very little interest in pursuing a real career in rap, as he would explain during On a Couch TV interview in May 2024.
When can we expect like an album from all? It's like at least 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all or something that rap.
I ain't lying, for let me say something with that rap. Say something about that rap. For already getting up about it, you feel me? Because I'm not thinking on this the meal ticket out there. Let's go on break. That's the, you know, that meal tickets are there. So I only get up at that, you know.
However, this would all seemingly change after Jeff's death, which was followed.
It is weird to lose the meal ticket and then now you gotta be the meal ticket. Cause you lost both of them damn near. You lost 2 of them. And Vert, I mean, Vert is Vert, so Vert can rap. It just, I don't know if he be consistent.
Himself would seemingly decide to take rap more seriously to carry the torch for the Bloodhounds. This can be seen with his musical output, with him dropping several solo songs with.
But that first day out beat dark as hell, bro. It's like a Jason beat or something.
Clearly been paying attention to how Jeff was making a name for himself with his seemingly overly audacious.
Audacious? I ain't never heard no audacious.
Crazy sounds in here.
Welcome to Arcade. With this plugin, you could make sounds that nobody else is making.
Ooh. Feels more
Why am I waiting for
than a
this?
sample
The
library.
fuck?
And possibly self-incriminating lyrics. For example, on Jeff's song "Ah," which appears to describe the real murders of two high school students with a brazenness that has perhaps never been seen before in rap. And from here, Q52 will begin to drop increasingly outrageous bars himself, like saying how he shot someone 10 times before Jeff shot them 5 times, and then literally saying the name of the alleged victim as an ad-lib. And that's just one example, because the more you look into Q50's lyrics, particularly the more recent lyrics, the more it begins to seem that he is in fact describing actual crimes that happened, often even providing ridiculously specific details about those crimes, like what model of car they were driving during the hit.
Yeah, but you have a say for that grade maximum this time. It's gonna be.
And this is from 600 Everhart, right?
That's the last thing going south on Everhart.
But perhaps the craziest part of all this is the fact that unlike Lil Jeff, whose bold lyrics about committing nearly a dozen murders went viral and became the topic of debate amongst drill fans after his death, Q50 on the other hand is actually still alive and evading the police in Chicago and beyond, and still rapping about having killed.
I thought he just got out of jail. How's he evading them? I mean, you can get out of jail to evade, I guess.
That would put some of the biggest rappers to shame. Q50 is something like a modern-day outlaw, and despite his incredible talent for music, the unfortunate truth is that unless he changes his ways and distances himself from the streets, his story can only end one of 2 ways. With the question being, will the authorities crack the case and catch up with him before his rivals in the streets do? So in this video, we'll be taking a closer look.
That's probably big as hell, bro.
Is Lil Jeff's right-hand man, BloodHound Q50, the true stories behind some of his wildest lyrics, and after once and for all, is this rapping hitman on the run likely to make it out of the streets for good?
He's always had a big forehead. Damn. What's up, that fight? Damn.
3 people have been wounded by gunfire at a McDonald's restaurant.
Oh, that's what he was talking, bruh. Nah, cause he had said, bruh. He had said in one of his recent songs, bro. He said the first time I did such and such. He said the first time I went to play basketball, I had 3 points. That's what he said, bro. Oh, that's what talking about the McDonald's. Ah. He talking about something different. This is something different thing. He talking about something totally different.
This morning, police are doing everything they can to find the person who shot and killed a 19-year-old.
How do y'all move out here? Everybody probably see y'all got the Z-Money tattoo on your face. It's probably real noticeable. Y'all basically let us know who that too. We see y'all keep his name alive and change y'all.
That's cuz. That's our cousin, bro. Yeah, first cousin. You see his time face. You see that? Look.
He said relentless. Q50 is crazy.
The driver said someone came up and then started shooting.
I can't believe he made a. Cause I don't know how often like Chapel Ross does these kind of videos of like people who still alive. Like typically he waits, or typically something happens, unfortunately, and then he does a video. I never seen him do like a. I mean, nah, he didn't did the the Young and Ace. He didn't do all that, so that's different. That's different. I'm tripping.
When can we expect like an album from all? It's like at least 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all, or something that rap.
I ain't lying, bro. Let me tell you something. We got rap. Say something about that rap. So I don't really get no about it. Because I'm not digging on this the meal ticket out there. Let's go on the break. And let's the rest of it. You know, that meal ticket.
That boy Miko. Ah yeah, this was bogus. That was bogus. It's like a whole movie, bro. He didn't change the game of documentaries. They're like, damn, 50. There they book you for a hat. Damn. Bruh, I forgot he do these ads, bruh. I forgot he be putting like hella ads, bruh. I forgot about that. This is probably the last one I do, bruh. Trapper Ross be putting too many ads.
Kayleigh Cooper was born on the 6th of August 2004, which is also my birthday, funnily enough. Not much is known about his early years, but it seems that he might have been spending at least some of those years in Chicago, as his 6th birthday would be celebrated at Jackson Park, located not far from the area.
How the fuck you know that?
Begin to claim as their hood for the
That's real documentary. That's real research.
Being on 79th and Maryland, which is located in the Chatham neighborhood. This same hood also being the home to a much older set called Drill City. This area is also considered part of the so-called unofficial east side of Chicago, which I've covered in depth in my earlier Lil Jeff video. However, it seems that at some point Q50's family would move out of the Chicago city limits to the nearby city of Gary, Indiana, which is about 25 miles southeast from downtown Chicago. As can be seen from Q50's mother's old Facebook account. Gary is a city with an industrial working class history, which has been deeply affected by the disappearance of manufacturing.
Speaking of Gary, I had seen, because y'all don't know, Michael Jackson and his family from Gary. I ain't seen that Tito Jackson died, bro. I see people talking about that. Who Tito Jackson? Who Tito Jackson, bro? Jackson 5. What you talking about?
In the US, making the city lose over half of its population since the 1960s.
Yeah, I seen Tito Jackson died. I'm like, damn.
Rich African American history, and Gary still has one of the largest black populations.
I forgot that's got what's that one dude, bro? Damn, what's the other rapper, bro? It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. I'll remember it later.
This being the very same school that the young BloodHound members who grew up on the east side would also attend, like the. However, despite growing up on the east side, unlike Lil Jeff's family, there's no indication that anyone in the close family was heavily involved in any gang activity at this time. To the contrary, the family have seemingly been pretty hard workers, with Q50's uncles having military and navy backgrounds. Recently,
even know his uncles
began to spread on social media and Reddit that Q50's mother had been arrested for a gun. But this woman is in fact not Q50's mum, but one of her sisters. In any case, merely having a gun in Chicago, particularly on the south side, is hardly a sign of much else than a desire to protect yourself. But still, growing up on the east side, the family were allegedly somewhat associated with a brain-dead Black Disciple set that would become known as Hit City. In fact, Q50's mother and his sisters can even be seen in a group photo about the set that's attached to a popular Google gang map. Interestingly, the hood of Hit City, which now seems largely to have been taken over by other sets, was located on 77th and Greenwood, which is right next to Drill City, that would later become the home of the BloodHounds. It seems that at least Q50's grandfather, but likely the whole family, would seemingly live right next to this intersection. In December 2013, this set and Q50's family would experience a tragic loss when 18-year-old Darius Dudley would pass away in a car crash. Darius was a cousin of Q50's mother and her siblings, and one of them can be seen together with him on his old Facebook account, whilst Q50's uncle still pays tribute to Darius on his social media.
I need a new chair, bro. I need a new chair.
My chair uncomfortable. Set, which at the time also went by SOB, but would begin to call their hood Darius World in his honor. Both Darius and Q50's family were also close to people from other notable sets, one of these people being a rapper called Lil D, who would rep Darius World heavily in his music and on social media. Lil D hails from a BD set called Lowlife, located in Inglewood, next to the infamous set Lambron 300. Lowlife is particularly known in the drill culture for allegedly being behind the murder of infamous Brixton GD member Lil Jojo, the young rapper who was beefing heavily with Chief Keef and other BD rappers when the drill genre first blew up in popularity. With Jojo,
I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's just me, bro. I don't know what it is. It seemed like, well, in my opinion, I feel like he look like X, bro. He like XXXTentacion, bro. He didn't look just alike to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm tripping though. Maybe it's their face. I don't know.
Became an anthem for gangster disciples. More specifically, Jojo's alleged killer was a notorious shooter and not-so-gentle giant called Loco, who himself would pass away in 2021 for unknown reasons. Loco was very close with Lil D, on the other hand, was making a name for himself in the early drill scene with his rapping, releasing numerous music videos that now have over 100,000 views. He was also collaborating with other up-and-coming rappers at the time, like Kenny Mack from the Holsted Boys set and Prince Dre from O-Block, as well as being close with people like the rapper Mimo from the infamous 600 set. It seems that Q50's mum and her siblings were even supposed to be part of one of Lil D's music videos in 2014, but for whatever reason, this wouldn't actually happen. Telling a bit about Q50's family history is important to understand why he would later get involved in the deadly gang wars in Chicago, despite seemingly spending much of his childhood and adolescent years
happy as hell, bro.
Away from the gang life.
He's like a normal black kid, bro.
Much deeper than his immediate family's background, because his broader family tree is also deeply connected to the BloodHounds themselves. Anyways, like Lil Jeff, the young Q50 was also seemingly very into basketball growing up, with his grandfather even making a post all the way back in 2012 saying how little Q50 had promised to buy him a fancy car when he made it to the NBA. In 2018, his uncle would post on social media how he had taken then 14-year-old Q50 to hooping with grown men, and he'd still held his own. Later, Q50 would post videos of himself playing in a team when he was young, showing that he
I was telling y'all, bro, he get 9.8 points a game, bro. I told y'all that.
Q50's hoop dreams fairly early on,
telling
although it's
y'all.
unclear exactly when he stopped playing competitively. But what we do know is that Q50 would eventually get into high school age, seemingly still living in Indiana, not Illinois, while attending the Maryville High School located in the town of Maryville, which is around 10-mile drive south from Gary. According to some data broker websites that provide personal data about these...
How am I saying? Yeah, I've never been there before. What the hell? I can't imagine saying Indianapolis, boy, I ain't going nowhere else. This is nice. What the hell?
A video would go viral showing a high school age Q50 fighting with a group of boys at his high school, with Q50 showing that he wasn't scared of getting mocked by the group, as he would attack one of the boys with a slick takedown,
man, this ain't no crazy. You can show a fight on YouTube. What the hell?
This video would go viral. Q50's mother would comment on it on social media, saying how he hadn't backed down, so they tried to jump him, and that none of those boys would try that with him now, showing that his mother certainly aware of the reputation Q50's garnered since
That's
those
crazy.
high school days.
That's crazy.
Anyway, Q50 would eventually graduate from Maryville High School in 2022, with his family members posting photos and videos of this joyous event to social media.
2022, hold on. So I mean Q50 like, what Q50 like 21 right now? Like 21, 20. 21 or 20. You just graduated. No, you just graduated. Like, cause, 2024 I think he just graduated. Nah. 2023 just graduated. My numbers, I'm getting old, bro. That's how my auntie was too, though. In my graduation, it was like 2019. That's how my auntie was. She was yelling a lot of shit.
Pandemic, as can be seen from a picture of him still wearing a mask.
Forehead still big, bro. I'm sorry. You got that shit on though. Hey, Q50 got that shit on.
Q50 was seemingly already involved with the Bloodhounds, as can be seen from these pictures posted a year earlier during the summer and fall of 2021, where he can be seen hanging out with Jeff and other members, likely in Chicago. There are also some claims that Q50 was already well connected with a gang set connected to the Bloodhounds, this being the set MTV on Set 9, with this connection seemingly coming from another young member called Mari Scoom, or MTV Scoom.
He looked like 10.
Sometimes called his little brother in music.
He looked 12. No, never mind. It don't matter.
Mari Scoom, real name Jalen Frazier, who was an aspiring rapper, was only 16 when he was one of 4 people arrested in May 2023 for allegedly participating in killing an off-duty police officer, Ariana Preston, during a robbery. However, Scoom is seemingly not Q50's brother from his mother's side of the family, but he could be from his father's side, yet there's seemingly very little information about him online. However, on Reddit, some people who claim to have known Q50 during middle school and high school call his affiliation with MTV to be cap, and saying that Q50 only turned to the gang life after beginning to spend time with his family. Indeed, Q50's seamless-looking transformation from a high school student in Indiana to a bona fide gang member in Chicago
Mary Jane's
strange at first.
I don't know. Like I said, bro, nowadays in high school, bro, you get a Mary Jeans, you get a Nike mask, you get a little bit of everything, bro. You getting Gucci t-shirts, Gucci flip-flops. They have it in high school, bro. They having the money, bro. I don't know if they're scamming or what.
In fact, in one video taken at his prom, Q50 can be seen posing for photos with a few of his cousins. Many of these, in fact, being members of the Bloodhounds.
That's how it be, though. That's how it be. I think everybody got them badass cousins from the other side of town, bro. Everybody got that. Well, sometimes, depends. Actually, that's not true. That's not true.
Just like Little Jeff, it seemed that Q50's early life had a lot of potential, and it hadn't been as plagued with violence as some of the other prolific gangsters I've covered, like King Von or Lil Durk. But eventually, things would change, and over time, Q50, along with Jeff and their other friends, would begin to wage war on the streets of Chicago under the banner of the Bloodhounds.
I got a question. Like, what is y'all opinion on athletes? Not turning streeter, but like that, like, cause if y'all don't know, what's the dude name? The Kill YBC duel. Like, I guess he was allegedly an athlete, and then he again allegedly killed YBC duel. So, what's y'all opinion on like stuff like that? Is that weird to y'all, or just it is how it is? Like, that's my question. Cause I don't know if it's weird or not. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's interesting though. It's interesting, like going from like a D2, D3 to like you doing what you do. So it's weird. It's not. I don't know, bro. Let me know what y'all think. Maybe I'm tripping. I'll be tripping a lot.
In terms
so.
of Chicago street history, there's many
ain't nothing wrong with being an athlete though. But, I don't know. It's weird.
In the modern
It's
era,
weird. It's different.
These larger gangs were displaced and replaced with smaller localized sets that didn't pay respect to the historic.
How much left I got this?
Motivated by the local
Damn.
conflicts in their blocks.
I got hour and 40 minutes, boy.
As I discussed in my 3-hour deep dive into Little Jeff, although the Bloodhounds have become one of the most known gang sets of Chicago in recent times, due to rappers like Jeff, Q50 and Vert repping them hard in their music, this set, or clip as it should perhaps more appropriately be called, is at this point likely around a decade old, being seemingly formed at the time when the original drill wave was still going strong in the early to mid-2010s, being primarily made up of members of 4 gang sets from around the Chatham and Woodlawn neighbourhoods: Drill City, MTV 079, 400 East, and Chris World, with the majority of the members coming from Drill City, while the other 3 sets
JB Bin Laden
for a few members
look like it.
clip. Therefore, the area that the Bloodhounds primarily claim is the same as Drill City's, this area being particularly around 79th Street, roughly from Ellis Avenue to Cottage Grove. 79th Street as a whole is known for being particularly dangerous, and Drill City's hood is no exception, with particularly their busiest intersection.
Bro, I heard the whole 79th Street is just bad. That's what I heard, but you'll never know, because shit people do. What the hell? I don't know what just happened, bro. I don't know what just happened.
They like bright as hell.
This is also the location where Jeff and Q50 can be seen hanging out in Jeff's music video for the song Should Have Saw It, as the two appear to walk around the area like they truly from the place. While there's no exact knowledge of how many
I would have ran inside this. That's my thing clip. I dumped it in front of my mama saw it.
Clip since its inception and are now in their late 20s or early 30s, while others, like Jeff, Q50 and Vert, are part of the new generation and are still in their late teens or early 20s. While there's also a generation coming up under them, these kids seemingly being barely high school age, while still already being heavily
Oh hell no! What the hell? That's the YNs, bro. Did they say Baby Speedy 79? Oh, that's nothing YNs. That's like whatever younger than YNs is, bro. That's YNs part 2, bro. That's YNs part 2. That's YNs part 2, the remix. That's the remix. Bro, he gotta be like 9, bro. He gotta be 9. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. He gotta be 9, bro. There's no way he over 13, bro. YN's part 2, the remix.
Like Jeff and Q50 also having seemingly deep family ties to the older members of the clique. For example, besides Q50 being a cousin of both Jeff and another rapper of the Bloodhounds called Z Money, who was infamously killed in 2023. This murder allegedly starting the war between, on one side, the Bloodhounds, formerly known as Drill City, and their former friends in Trap City, a war which would eventually cost Lil Jeff his life. Q50 is seemingly also related to several of the core OGs of the Bloodhounds, such as 3 brothers known as Tay or Tayski, Derm, and Swerve. These 3 can be seen all over Q50's family's social media, such as this picture with Q50's uncle, together with them and other Bloodhounds. Or the trio's mother commenting OTF, or only the family, on Q50's mother post of Q50 from his prom night. The trio also call Q50 their little cuz, or Buzz, in blood lingo. Out of these, Tay, known on Instagram as Bloody Brothers _79, is seemingly sometimes discussed by other members as being the main Bloodhound, or at least seemingly the one with the most money, with Q50 being seen on social media flexing wads of cash and a diamond-studded Rolex Datejust, and a caption saying most people think it must be Tay's money. Derm, on the other hand, has been dabbling with rapping in recent years, with his music videos showing familiar Bloodhound trademarks that I've covered in depth in my Lil Jeff video, like the members dropping Ys for one of their oldest ops, the crew called TYMB, as well as flexing flashy jewelry like their Bloodhound chains and designer watches, as well as big vacuum-sealed bags of dope. The younger rappers, Jeff, Q50 and Vert, can also be seen on Derm's most recent music video from April 2022, titled Bloody Mary, while Derm also mentions Jeff in his rhymes, presenting Jeff as essentially his shooter who will bail out of the car and empty a switch on you if you act tough. These 3 also have a younger brother called BloodHound J, who has released several music videos. And Q50's family connections to the Bloodhounds don't end there, because he's also related to several other members, such as 2 brothers, Dola and Quiz, whose mother
That's his whole family, shit.
Tay, Derm, and Swerve, and Jay. Quiz has also gone by the rapper named Slimito, and he has a couple of music videos together with Q50 and Lil Jeff, with Lil Jeff rapping on the song Big 3, how he, Q50, and Quiz, aka Slimito, will get the job done when it comes to sliding on their ops. Tay, Derm, and Swerve, on the other hand, have for a long time been close with older Bloodhound members, such as Drezzy Bands, who has also dabbled in rapping, his earliest songs being all the way back from the mid-2010s, when the Bloodhounds first really became a thing, like the music video for the song Vicious from May 2016, that also includes 2 other Bloodhound members, Hothead and MTV Catch. In his more recent music video from March 2021, Drezzy can be seen hanging out in the Bloodhound's hood on the 79th of Maryland, whilst dropping rates for their close-by ops, like the 8 Trey Mob, Evans Mob, and Hit Squad. Then there's the rapper JB Bin Laden from the 400 East set, who has at this point been a major figure in the Chicago drill scene for over a decade, as a result of his deep connection with murdered drill icon L.A. Capone. JB Bin Laden is also a Bloodhound OG, having wrecked the gang in his music for years, and the list of rappers just keeps going, because then there are also older guys like the before-mentioned Bloodhound Hothead, who is currently locked up, as well as MTV Cash and MTV Chino, who have all repped the Bloodhounds in their music and on social media since the mid to late 2010s.
Yeah? You see them bandanas, that mean we Bloodhound. Yeah. Bring it out through with your flag out. Got the man looking at your car left over. Video, he just looking at me, bro. Yeah. Are we Bloodhound too?
Cash and Chino's MTV 079 set is perhaps best known for being the set of Blow Gang member Trey Savage, who was a close friend of Chief Keef for years before he was murdered in the Channel neighborhood during the summer of 2020, whilst he was dropping off his girlfriend near his home turf, also an area frequented by the ops of MTV and the Bloodhounds, Evans Mob,
That's crazy.
And there's also, of course, Jeff's big brother and another cousin of Q50 called Jay Boogie, who has seemingly been part of the Bloodhounds pretty much since their inception and has also been rapping to the early to mid 2010s. But he's currently locked up on gun-related charges. Boogie has a very close friend called CJ, who's also a Bloodhound OG and seemingly one of the first members to rep the clique hard on social media. Bloodhounds seemingly also have a presence all the way in Milwaukee, with members like an older guy called Big Sleep, who's also put out at least one song as a rapper together with other Bloodhound-affiliated Milwaukee rappers like K-Rax, with Q50, Lil Jeff, and older Bloodhound members even making a cameo in a July 2023 music video by K-Rax and other Milwaukee rappers that was seemingly filmed in Milwaukee.
The youngest in the camp. Yeah, like track 40. All of the clientele, stupid. These the baby, bro. You hear me? Don't forget about the Bloodhound, Big B, Long Lizzy.
As I discussed in my Lil Jeff video, this connection to Milwaukee would even lead to rumours that Jeff and Q50 had committed contract killings in the city for their local affiliates, with numerous lyrics appearing to hint towards this. Now that we know a little bit more about the Bloodhounds and Q50's deep family ties to the clique, let's take a look at the crazy true events that played out on the streets of Chicago and culminated in Q50 eventually claiming to have caught 8 bodies.
Tired as hell, bro.
Pushing the limits
I'm doing this at
starts
1 p.m.,
long
bro.
across the finish line.
I've been up a while though, actually.
I can
I've been up like 3-4 hours.
To truly understand the timeline of events that led up to Q50 becoming an alleged demon in the Chicago streets who caught 8 bodies and rapped about it, we have to go right back to the start and trace the history of the deadly wars in the area. From the original East Side crew named Long City that formed into Drill City and later became embroiled in an in-house feud that saw a new group branching off, with a war between groups that will be named Drill City and Trap City before eventually the Bloodhounds would be fully established as one of the most deadly gang sets in the modern Chicago drill culture. So we're going to do a quick recap of some key moments from that beef, but if you've already watched my video on Lil Jeff, then you might want to skip past this chapter and continue hearing about Q50's transformation into a gangster rapper, but if not, prepare to learn the dark history of how the Bloodhounds came to be. The events of this video largely...
Man, I ain't taking no damn recap, bro. I did not eat... Hell nah.
The East Side in this context, this should not be confused with the official East Side, which is one of the 77 community areas of Chicago located in the far south side of the city.
Yeah, I ain't doing no recap, bro. If y'all want to see Lil Jeff, go watch Lil Jeff one, bro. Hell nah. Especially, boy, hell nah. Yeah, we start right here.
In October 2022, Lil Jeff, or BloodHound Lil Jeff as his artist name is called, would begin his rap career, dropping his first song and music video titled The Bloody Family, together with JB Bin Laden, and the name of the song being an obvious reference to the Bloodhound gang. Since the beginning, Jeff was rapping like he was really truly about that life, dropping bars like how he bought himself a gun when he hopped off the porch, and now he's killing people like it's a sport. Q50 too can be seen in this music video wearing a COVID mask, whilst doing entertaining drill antics like using a Draco for weightlifting. Also in the music video for the song Knuck If You Buck by Vert, released some weeks later at the end of October, Q50 can be seen holding 2 handguns with drum magazines, showing just where he might have gotten his name from, as he would later also rap in his songs. Clearly, around this time, Q50 was already knee-deep in the gang lifestyle, after seemingly having begun to increasingly hang out with the Bloodhounds at least since the previous year, and now having finished his high school years, as well as having seemingly moved to Chicago. However, it would still be several months before Q50 himself would eventually begin to rap in the spring of 2023, but while Q50 wasn't yet rapping, it appears that he may have been getting involved in other, far more sinister activities that the Bloodhounds were allegedly involved in too.
I don't think I've ever seen a drill video with a Carhartt jacket on.
Music video, a murder would
It's
take
hard
place
though.
that Q50 has later referenced in his songs numerous times. On the 10th of November 2022, the 29-year-old OG of the 9-5 mob called Vuji, real name Rodney Strong, as well as his brother and mother, were visiting their local McDonald's, which is located only 1.2 miles away from the corner of 95th and Wentworth that the 9-5 mob claims. This is in fact the very same McDonald's where all the way back in 2013, someone would shoot infamous drill rapper Lil J in the buttocks. Anyway, while Vuji and his family were in front of the McDonald's,
to this day, I don't know how Lil J's still out here, bro. They say I think he got shot at like, I don't know how many times he got shot. They think he got shot at like 21 different times, bro. That is insane, boy. Like that's crazy. After a while, bro, I don't even know what I would do. That's crazy.
602 Sam.
Go ahead, 602 Sam.
Hey, Rudy, shots fired 13 rounds at 51 West 95th Street on the street. Hey, Rudy, another shots fired for 1 round on 94, 43 South State. And that's on the sidewalk. And it looks like there's a person down.
That Danish look nasty as hell, bro. And that burger look nasty, bro. That's why I'm going to McDonald's no more.
I'm also getting a call of a person shot.
Last time I went to McDonald's, bro, I seen a fake that Mexican OT, bro. He had the same haircut and everything.
Another one at 95th at the McDonald's at the red line. Another person shot.
560 on the zone, 560.
Go ahead, 560.
Bro, I snitched I put a red line in Indianapolis, bro. We don't need no damn red line, bro. We're not even big enough as a city to have a red line. What the hell? Keep having these buses. I mean, this is the same shit, but
10-4, we have cars coming your way. At the
McDonald's.
We got one at the red line.
The hell?
And 632 with the other victim. I'm sorry, 631 with the other victim.
633.
Go ahead, 633.
We got one more shot.
damn.
602 Sam.
602 Sam.
Traffic was terrible, bro.
There was a white Infiniti sedan. It left the area going southbound down the wrong way on LaSalle from 95th.
The wrong way.
633.
633.
It's a total of
How he even find? I mean, you can assess this up, I guess.
2 males, 1 female.
10-4. We got some more info for the police. 95th and Lafayette. 2 male blacks jumped back into a white Infiniti. Last thing going northbound on Lafayette. Possible 4 occupants.
Well, we need another info over here.
We got a roll.
Hambo.
Alright, I got info on 2 of the victim shots. First victim, 1 gunshot wound center back into the left foot. His last name is Strong, Thomas Fowling. First name, his brother shot multiple times, same last name. First name, Rodney.
Shot multiple times. 10-4. What's their condition? 614. What are their conditions?
Rodney is extremely critical, and
I know what. What the hell? You gonna stop it right there?
I got you.
Man, I'm tired of Patrick Mahomes, bro. I can't believe he beat Joe Burrow yesterday, bro. I'm tired of that. Man, I'm tired of damn Chiefs, bro. And then Anthony Richardson, he throwing picks and people can catch the ball, run defense bad, bro. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no football.
By gunfire at a McDonald's restaurant.
And my 49ers lost, like,
now to a
all
shooting
bad.
at McDonald's restaurant. 3 people have been wounded.
Our Mayor Kalash is live at the scene there. This is 95th and Lafayette on the south side, Eric.
Cheryl Allen's still quite the scene here.
Chicago was such a big city, bro.
McDonald's blocked off right off the Dan Ryan. As of right now, Chicago Fire tells us there are 3 victims in this shooting. Their ages ranging from 29 to 49 years old. Witnesses tell us this was kind of sparked by a drive-by. That's where these bullets were coming from, out of some vehicle here near 95th and Lafayette. Now, officials tell us there are some shell casings inside that McDonald's here, which again is closed right here. It's still not clear what sparked the shooting, but we know the 3 victims are being treated at nearby hospitals. 2 of the men listed in critical condition, and a female also seriously hurt. We just spoke to a pastor who has a church right nearby. He came over here just after those shots were fired.
On the day that's supposed to be, the last warm day of the year, right after the elections, we can see if, some of these people are going to do what they say. And they got a good example today. It's a violent day in the city, and definitely a violent, just crazy day here while people are trying to come home from work.
So again, all signs of a tragic scene here. 3 victims in the hospital. Police continuing to work through this entire investigation. There were reports of several rounds of gunfire coming from that vehicle. So we're expecting another update from Chicago Police. As we continue to learn more this evening, we'll keep you updated. Alan, Cheryl.
2 of the victims, the brother and mother of Bougie, would survive, but unfortunately, Bougie wouldn't be so lucky, as he appeared to be the main target of the attack and would get shot numerous times, passing away later at the Advocate Christ Medical Center.
Now to a breaking news update, a shooting right in front of a popular McDonald's. 1 man is dead, 2 others hurt.
Pastor Donovan Price says he's saddened to hear about this incident, not only because of those injured and killed during the shooting, but also because it's on that very same corner where he does a lot of his anti-violence and community
That is crazy.
outreach.
Yeah, that's crazy. That'd be fucked up.
Thursday night, crews boarding up the windows of this McDonald's on 95th Street, just off the Dan Ryan, where police say
I
a
gotta
woman
close
and
that
2
one.
men
Oh,
were
no,
shot.
close it.
Apparently a car pulled up with an individual who shot, who opened and shot at least 29 shell casings, I counted, and so it was quite a shooting.
Just before 3 p.m., a 49-year-old woman was shot in the arm. She's expected to be okay. A 27-year-old man was shot in the back and is in good condition. And a 29-year-old man was shot multiple times and died, according to police. It's unclear if the 3 are related or if they were the target of the shooting.
One of the young men that got shot, he went running back into McDonald's, and a CTA bus operator caught him as he fell. One ran around the back by the Maxwell Street hot dog stand, and he succumbed to his injuries. He fell.
At the scene,
God damn.
clothing and bullet casings scattered all along the sidewalk.
Tragic at such a busy street during almost during rush hour time. What could have happened is perhaps what we should be thankful for in the midst of the tragedy.
The police are still investigating this shooting, and so far, no one is in custody.
Only around 12 days after the murder of Bougie, there would be another shooting near that same McDonald's, which had reportedly begun after an altercation at the restaurant. It would seem that McDonald's had had enough of these incidents, and they would close
that
for
mo.
good in
Yeah, get that out of
But
here.
this is certainly not the only McDonald's that's had to deal with extreme levels of violence in Chicago.
That's true.
And in fact, only a few months before the murder of Bougie, McDonald's CEO would raise an alarm over the escalating amount of violence at their restaurants in the city. According to one somewhat tongue-in-cheek political theory from 1996 by the Pulitzer Prize-winning author and political commentator Thomas Friedman, who came up with the Golden Arches theory that says that the presence of McDonald's restaurants are actually a sign of a nation reaching a level of economic development and stability, with a country getting McDonald's indicating that it has a strong enough middle class to support the fast food chain, as well as building strong economic ties with other similar nations. And as the theory goes, no 2 countries that both have a McDonald's have ever gone to war against each other. But the fact that the McDonald's couldn't stay open in the 9/5 mob hood says a lot about how dangerous the area was, that it was affecting McDonald's at a corporate level, and indicating that this area is indeed as dangerous as some of the conflict-ridden nations which are too damn wild for McDonald's to even want to set up shop there. While this theory is about nations, the economic inequality between the haves and have-nots in Chicago and the effects like crime that follow on from such inequality are clearly reflected in certain areas of the city, which have seemingly reached the levels of instability where even fast food chains like McDonald's struggle to keep their businesses open there. And that also goes to show how hard life is for the residents there too. Because if the McDonald's can't stay open due to violence, then people in the area can't go and work there for an honest employment, posing yet another avenue of economic opportunity in the area and forcing even more.
Save time creating content and generate a high-quality clone of your voice.
Even more young people to turn to crime to get by. It's truly a vicious cycle. But anyway, there would seemingly be no strong leads in Bougie's murder, even with the details about the suspects being incredibly vague, as the assailants had seemingly covered their faces and bodies almost perfectly. But there would be clues about who might have been involved, circulating amongst the local drill rappers. In April 2023, Q50 would begin his rap career, releasing the song and music video titled Big 3, which would include verses from Jeff and the BloodHound member Slimito, aka Queese. Q50, who is dressed in all black while wearing a ski mask, begins his verse by also stating that when he stepped out in this gear, somebody died. But it wouldn't be until his next song, titled Coffin, which also
I don't think I heard that
verses from
song,
Jeff
yeah,
and
actually.
JB Bin Laden, that Q50 would begin referencing the murder of Bougie, as he raps that someone should go pick their brother up before saying, "Now that's disrespect," and F95. These lyrics seemingly being aimed directly at Bougie's brother, who was there that day. After after Coffin, Q50 would seemingly not pay much thought to rapping, as he would only drop 2 songs officially, neither of these seemingly mentioning anything explicit about Bougie. But he was by no means done with the dissing, and after Lil Jeff's death, as he would begin to pay much more attention to his rap career, the dissing would continue on both songs and on social media. In his track Splash Bros, released with a music video in July 2024, Q50 raps that since 9-5 Mob wanna troll, you should ask them about McDonald's, with this being yet another clear reference to the murder of Bougie. Even adding an ad-lib after the bar, saying that the McDonald's got closed due to this incident, with the diss seemingly being prompted by the fact that 9-5 Mob were trolling Jeff after his death. Indeed, amongst other disses, on June the 8th, when Jeff was killed, a member of the 9-5 Mob would write a tribute to Bougie on social media, and then, on Jeff's posthumous birthday on the 14th of July, Bougie's brother himself would post on his social media how it's a dude's birthday, and then writing, "Happy birthday." Q50 would also rap on Splash Bros how he jumps out of the Infinity Q50 making car.
To me, I think that's his best song to this day.
Also repeated in other songs. Now, in the case of Bougie's murder, there's no clear indication that this specific model of car was used in the hit, but one of the leads that police would get immediately following the shooting would indeed be the fact that the suspects were driving a white Infinity sedan.
We got some more info for the police, 95th and Lafayette. 2 male blacks jumped back into a white Infinity, last seen going northbound on Lafayette, possible 4 occupants.
Q50 would then continue by rapping how he went up 8 bodies and people know he's a real killer, before saying how somebody's mum was in the way during a hit, so she got shot too, exactly what seemingly happened during the murder of Bougie. Then, Visuals YouTube channel will drop a vlog about shooting a music video for Q50's new song, 762.
Moving around. That's how I lived up, I'm out there, I'll be sound for it. It's still bad. I'm moving around.
Unfortunately for Q50, this song, among many others, would end up leaking before the official release of the music video, something that would seemingly piss him off a lot. Though the song would have
a lot of his music did get leaked though, for whatever reason.
In the song, Q50 would make his most direct disses towards Bougie so far, as he raps how Bougie had tried to run and had tripped, and that's why he got killed, before making yet another reference to McDonald's being closed, saying that he doesn't want to work shifts there anyway. Then, in another song by Q50 and Jeff, titled Should Have Ducked, which was leaked soon after, Q50 raps how someone was stealing from the BloodHounds, so he hopped out broad day and caught that person's friend together with his brother, which seems like yet another reference to Bougie and his brother, with the implication being that someone affiliated with the 9-5 Mob may have been stealing something from the BloodHounds, causing them to retaliate. Although in all fairness, this particular lyric could
that could be about anything, to be honest.
Of 2 high school students in downtown Chicago that Lil Jeff and the other Bloodhounds have also claimed responsibility for. In any case, the dissing wouldn't stop there, because in yet another leaked song titled Kill Switch, which includes verses from Q50, Jeff, and a Bloodhound affiliated rapper called T-Slick, Q50 aims his disses again directly towards Bougie, saying that when he died, his friends did nothing but a diss song in response. Lil Jeff too had previously made a similar remark in his song Tony Montana, released in April 2024, but at the time, it wasn't clear whom he was talking about. The diss that Q50 and Jeff are likely referring to is a little-known song titled Get Even by a 9-5 Mob rapper called Mark from 9-5, which was released about a month after Bougie's murder. In the song, Mark raps how they're sliding through the 9, which is likely a reference to the 79th Street that the Bloodhounds claim, before saying how they took a loss and need to get even, which seems to be a clear reference to Bougie. Mark also directly states how they shoot people for Bougie, before saying how they stand over a hound and overkill him, a reference to the Bloodhounds now being crystal clear. He then further continues how the murder of Bougie turned him up, so he's going to slide through the 7-9 and shoot it up, before continuing to explain how another rapper is dead because they hit him up, and then seemingly telling a rapper to stay inside and stop trolling because they know his face. While Q50 wasn't still rapping at the time this song was released, Lil Jeff certainly was, and it just so happens that he had dropped a song and music video titled I Love My Draco, together with Vert at the end of November 2022, just 20 days after Bougie's murder, and 15 days before Mark would release his diss. The name of the song, I Love My Draco, is interesting in its own right, given that one of the guns used in the murder of Bougie was supposedly a rifle. Because while a Draco is technically not a rifle, it certainly looks like one, as well as using the same bullets that many assault rifles also use. The music video begins with a clip of Jeff and Vert sliding in traffic, with Jeff using a shirt as a mask, while they listen to the song Should Have Ducked by Lil Durk and Pooh Shiesty, with Jeff rapping along to the lyrics about being Mr. Leave No Evidence. The song then starts with the music video showing about a 1-second clip of someone who looks like Q50 holding up a gun to the camera. This being one of the very few times that Q50 is actually on camera in the video, as if him showing up at the beginning masked up was simply to send a message. Interestingly, Lil Jeff is also masked up in the video, with the last image that Bucci may have seen before he was gunned down being these two masked up guys running up on him.
God damn.
The video as a whole then is likely explaining why 9-5 Mob may have taken it as Bloodhounds trolling them. Mark would then end the dissing of the Bloodhounds on his song by rapping how they're shooting with switches and another person will be dead on Cottage Grove. This street, of course, being the largest and busiest street in the Bloodhounds or Drill City's hood, where numerous people have lost their lives. However, despite even 9-5 Mob seemingly admitting that the Bloodhounds were behind this murder, there are also other theories about who might have been responsible. These rumours revolving around 9-5 Mob's more close-by ops, such as a set called Nateville and another set called Rack City. All these three sets being very close to each other. The rumours have even caused debates on places like Reddit, where Jeffologists have gotten mad at
Jeffologists is crazy.
Trying to discredit his work, which I guess is one way to talk about murders if you've been as prolific in them as Lil Jeff supposedly was. These discreditors have even claimed that they have inside sources who have told them that Rack City was actually behind the murder of Bucci. Rack City is certainly no strangers when it comes to violence, and members of the set were recently charged with a RICO case in connection with the murder of a man named Ogonia Okiki. This murder allegedly being committed by Rack City against none other than 9-5 Mob, which the news report referred to as the Princeton Park GDs. But to be clear, in the end, nobody has seemingly been charged for the murder of Bucci, and thus there is seemingly no credible evidence against either the Bloodhounds or Rack City. But clearly, one gang has been way more eager to claim it than the other. And while it's difficult to say if Bucci's murder is Q50's alleged first one based on his lyrics, it seems to hold a special place in his heart for one reason or another. In any case, what does seem clear based on Q50's lyrics is that going forward, his capacity for violence would only increase. But it wouldn't be his ops who would get hurt, because in 2023, Q50 himself would seemingly come within an inch of his own death.
Let me show you why I stopped paying for all my other sample libraries. It's all paid by output. This thing has sounds, samples, instruments.
As I discussed in my Lil Jeff video, 2023 is when the violence in the street would seemingly get personal for the young Bloodhounds, particularly Jeff and Q50, as their cousin and beloved Bloodhound member Z Money, real name Zaire Nelson, would be gunned down in his hood while sitting in a car in a parking lot of a dry cleaners. Chi-Town Crime Chasers' Facebook page would be at the scene shortly after, filming the police investigating the scene, while in the comments of the video, Q50's mother would react to the footage, clearly personally affected by the death of her cousin. Paying tribute to him, both Jeff and Q50 would get Z Money tattoos at the top of their eyes, as well as a bunch of Z's tattooed on their index fingers, aka trigger fingers. Z Money's murder has never been solved, but it's clear from all the online rumours that the Bloodhounds consider their old friends from Trap City to be behind the hit. This murder now breaking apart the 0679 alliance that these two sets had formed over a decade ago. But it's unclear how much Trap City themselves were talking about Z Money's death publicly on social media at the time, but particularly since Jeff's death, they have become much more emboldened to diss him, with the young Trap City rapper Tero, who's a former good friend of Vert, even making a diss track that he would preview on Instagram. The song including a bar where Tero seems to insinuate that the Bloodhounds had pushed Z Money out of the car before or after he was shot. Tero, together with two Trap City OGs, OTF Black and iTrap Rob, or Trap City Rob, who the internet has painted as Lil Jeff's killer, would even give an interview to the YouTuber X-Man Rico, where they would insinuate that Trap City had fallen out with Drill City or the Bloodhounds due to someone from that side stealing a chain from one of their members.
Cause wait, ready, this is what I want the club too. They say his dad from down here, Big Jeff, right there. Big Jeff.
Anybody got
also his daddy is from down here.
Yeah, fuck used to hang with them. They know what they did.
So okay.
They know what they did.
So okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
Everybody got a
Those my homies.
They stole a chain, bro. We tried like took it. He stole my own chain.
Who was that South Jackson?
Nah, one of the other guys.
This one of the other. This legend Weather J. He come back like he got into a high speed 12. Man, seeing he lost it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how the birthday was. You know?
Yeah.
The young Bloodhounds, on the other hand, have implied that Z Money's killer is locked up, which is why they can't get their hands on him. With the Chiracologists, they're coming to a conclusion that Z Money's killer must be a Trap City rapper called Lil Cap.
The people who kill Z Money is still on this earth. Hey, this tied on my face for no reason. It's tied on this. Hey, jail say
saving his ass.
Who even had a song together with Vert and JB Bin Laden from December 2021. But even Lil Jeff makes a quick cameo. The older Bloodhounds too, like Durham, would also still in 2022 promote Lil Cap and Tero's music before things would go all the way left. Moreover, it seems that the young Bloodhounds, including Jeff and Q50, may have even been sliding for Trap City before the falling out. In July 2022, an alleged Trap City member called Buck, or Bucko, was killed during an altercation at a house party in Trap City's hood. While it's unclear what exactly had happened at the house party, it seems that Trap City and the 0679 Alliance took Buck's death hard, and they wanted revenge. In a now deleted music video called Op K by Vert and Jeff, which has only been saved in a reaction video by another YouTuber, Vert begins the song rapping how they had gone sliding after Bucko's death, whilst also shouting out both Jeff and Q50. Then, at the end of his verse, Jeff too raps how he's also sliding for Bucko and that the get back had been quick. However, now the young Bloodhounds were all about getting their revenge for Z Money, and in the following months they would be associated with several murders in online rumours, one of these taking place only a few weeks later, when a young man called Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boozer Jr., who was allegedly from the hood of the Flipside set, where Jeff himself grew up, was gunned down in front of his home in April 2023, all the way in the far south side suburb of Sauk Village. After Pooh's death, Jeff would imply both on social media and in his music that Pooh had allegedly dissed Z Money, and that's why he had lost his life, even seemingly describing waiting for Pooh to return home while laying in the grass of his yard in his song In Your Home that features both Q50 and Vert. Interestingly, Lil Pooh's murder actually connects back to the murder of Bougie, as Lil Pooh's big brother is none other than the 9-5 mob rapper Mark from 9-5. Mark would even make a tribute song to Pooh soon after his death, but this time the song would seemingly have no pointed disses towards any specific set. Now, Mark being Lil Pooh's brother certainly doesn't mean that it was Jeff or other Bloodhounds behind this murder, but it certainly adds another layer to the story, as Pooh had now not only allegedly dissed Z Money, but had also been deeply associated with people who were in an active war with the Bloodhounds. However,
Weekend plans?
Automating lead management 24/7 with Zapier.
But rapper Lou Glock from the Mix Mob set, who is seemingly also related with Lil Pooh, recently called the rumours about the Bloodhounds being behind this murder a total fabrication, calling Lil Jeff and the other Bloodhounds high school musical rappers who haven't killed any gang members in Chatham. Some Redditors have also pointed out how Jeff couldn't have been behind this murder since he grew up on Flipside and was seemingly close with other Flipside members. Indeed, some months after Pooh's murder in June, one member from Flipside's hood would post himself still hanging out with both Jeff and Q50. But a few months after that, the same member would also post how he only associates with people who are really sliding and has no affiliation with any set, before ending the post saying F Flipside. But what makes this case even more confusing is that one of Lil Pooh's supposed close friends from Flipside, who even had Forever Lil Pooh text in his Instagram profile, would seemingly post an earnest tribute to Lil Jeff following his death. However, it seems that since then, this member has actually completely removed the tribute to Lil Pooh from his Instagram profile, which makes it seem like there may be much more going on behind the scenes than drill fans get to see. Anyway, it seems that the death of Z Money had launched a tidal wave of animosity between the Bloodhounds and anybody who dared come in their way.
So what was the one situation that has occurred in your life that made you say, fuck this nigga?
My mom, dad, that's on my face. She's right here.
Z Money?
Yeah. Okay. It was super deep after that. Everybody after that.
Okay, I see Z Money on his face as well. Y'all share the same tattoo.
Not right.
So this definitely had to be somebody that meant a lot to both of y'all. How long ago was his passing?
May, was that me? Yeah. Yeah, ago. No, March. Yeah, March. Yeah, that was March. Last March.
And how did this death affect your mentality, brother?
All I see is red.
However, the Bloodhounds weren't the only ones getting active, and it seems that at some point after Z Money's murder, Q50 himself would become the target of shooting, apparently getting shot in his leg, as he would mention in the song Coffin, which released with a
He said that a few times though.
Q50's mother too would seemingly confirm this shooting happened, as she would write in November 2023 to her social media how she had almost lost her son that year. However, at the time, there appeared to be no indication as to who had been behind the shooting. But that would seemingly change when Tero would drop snippets of his Bloodhound diss on his Instagram, with one of the lines of the song seemingly insinuating that it was Trap City who had gotten Q50 shot. Q52 has continued to reference the shooting in his recent songs, like on the song 762, which would finally be released with a music video in late August 2024. Q50 first begins the song while rapping how he was still spinning while having a crutch, before later returning to the topic and rapping how the ops had thought that he had died after shooting him until he hopped on Instagram Live. The war between these old friends, Trap City and Drill City, or now the Bloodhounds, was now in full effect. But as those of you who would have seen my Lil Jeff video would know, the next victim in this war would be on Trap City's side, and his death becoming one of Lil Jeff's favourites to claim in his music. On the 25th of June, at around 8:55 PM, a 19-year-old Trap City member called Leal, real name Jaleel Goins, would catch a rideshare car on the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, located in the Little Italy neighborhood near the University of Illinois Chicago campus, far away from Trap City's hood. But as Leal had sat down in his rideshare car, someone would quickly approach the car on foot, getting next to the rear passenger window, opening fire.
Loomis and Taylor, we're getting shots fired. Loomis and Taylor, Loomis. Caller heard 6 gunshots. Witness male black wearing black clothing shooting into a white vehicle, possibly a Toyota Camry.
After shooting Leal through the car window, the shooter, who apparently had dreads, would seemingly take off running through an alleyway to get away from the scene.
The male black, all black clothing with dreads, running down the alley westbound. Caller didn't see a weapon on him, but there's windows that shut out.
Meanwhile, the rideshare driver would immediately take off, driving Leal to the nearest hospital, which was less than a mile away. But at that time,
that's pretty close though.
As Leal would be pronounced dead at
3 minutes,
the hospital, and the local ABC 7 News would be at the scene later that night and the next morning, interviewing the locals who had witnessed the shooting.
It seems like their stories is like real intertwined. Like obviously they best friends or they good friends, so their stories like really heavily connected.
Investigating a fatal shooting yesterday evening. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was pronounced dead at Rush University Medical Center, but police and nearby residents tell us
that's a nice ass Uber, bro. What the hell? I fucking need, bro. Like I said, bro, I need a whole new chair. I need a whole new chair. This chair gotta go. I had this weak chair for like 2 years.
West Taylor Street, where Goins was a passenger in a rideshare and was shot. And the rideshare driver drove Goins to the hospital. This
You in a fishbowl? That is not good. I mean, it's just Uber. I mean,
then heard the shots.
Yeah.
She thought she had been shot, but she had not.
I'm down there on the ground crying and shaking and stuff. Pow, pow, pow. They said it was like 8 shots. No, I believe it was more than 20.
As for the investigation, Chicago police tell us at this point, no one in custody.
the hell, see, bro, the chair finna break, bro. I ain't finna play with this chair, man. I'm finna do something on the ground at this point.
With Jeff rapping highly incriminating bars like in the track Stretched, where he says he caught someone lacking in a fishbowl, meaning a car with no tints, and saying that Leal looked up like he saw a ghost and he's now dead, as well as rapping that they smoke on Leal in multiple songs. However, Jeff was certainly not the only one, as Q52 would participate in this dissing with glee, like in the song No Tomorrow, released with a music
Glee
video
is funny as shit.
2024, where Q50 raps how he calls the latest dead guy from Trap City an Uber pack. And he would continue the dissing in his most recent songs, like Make It Far, where he rapped that whoever sent Leal a lift should ask if he made it back, and rapping that he's smoking Leal on the song Scarface, as well as on social media, making posts hinting towards something that Lil Jeff had said on songs, saying that Draco made it so Leal never got out the car. But it would be the song Splash Bros, released with a music video in late July 2024, where he would put out the most revealing bar, rapping how Leal had been killed with 7.62 bullets, and mentioning him by name. 7.62 caliber bullets come in many lengths, and are used in many different kinds of guns, but they're particularly common bullets for assault rifles, such as the world-famous AK-47. However, in drill culture, these bullets have become particularly associated with the Draco, which, as I mentioned before, is in fact technically categorized as a pistol, even though it commonly uses these very same bullets as an AK-47 might, and in fact, it looks a lot more compact than the version of its infamous big brother. But what makes Q50's line about Leal getting killed with these particular bullets noteworthy is the fact that none of the news reports about this murder would seemingly mention anything about the type of gun that was used, nor was this fact mentioned by the popular Spot News Twitter account that reports on crime in Chicago based on police radio activity, which Jeff and Q50 have even mentioned many times in their songs. However, as police patrols arrived at the murder scene and in the hospital where Leal had been taken, they would not only find Leal to have a 9mm pistol on him, but they would indeed find what an officer would describe as rifle shell casings on the ground where the shooting had happened.
Here's how you know the hospital, what type of weapon it is. We got rifle shell casings over here on Taylor.
1263 item.
I look like a Springfield XD, possibly 9mm. We haven't touched it.
They're saying it's a possible 9mm.
That person was in the car with a handgun, but we have a second shooter out here on the street with a rifle.
Alright, so there's a second shooter over there with a rifle. Alright, 10-4.
Now, this of course doesn't mean that Q50 took part in this murder, but it wasn't exactly a secret that Jeff in particular was very fond of using the Draco, to the point where he would even get the nickname King Drake. Yet knowing how Q50 likes to seemingly insert real details from real crimes into his lyrics, it's certainly interesting that he would get this fact seemingly correct, and the blasé attitude that he had to rap such details that only the shooters would know is possibly a prime example of self-snitching. But still, it could be a coincidence. But whatever the case may be, it would only be a few months later when the next gruesome shooting would take place, and Q50 is commonly referenced in his songs, the target of this shooting being a much older member of Trap City. As I mentioned mentioned at the beginning of the video, one of the more outrageous bars that Q50 has dropped in his recent solo songs is from the song Splash Bros, where he raps
That
out
song
that he
was
shot someone
insane,
10
bro.
times and that Jeff shot them 5 times before literally dropping the name of their victim as an ad-lib, this name being Glenn. Once again, this bar appears to be a reference to a real shooting that took place, the victim of this shooting seemingly being an alleged member of Trap City named Glendale. Glendale, or Glenn, is actually very close and maybe even related with perhaps the most well-known member of Trap City, the alleged killer of Lil Jeff, I Trap Rob, or Trap City Rob, who the internet has painted
It's
as
all
being
connected.
the man who fired the shots
I
from
just made the connection.
Glenn's life. On Thursday, the 31st of
Mother
August,
ah,
2023,
mother ah.
around 2 p.m., Glenn was at a club.
That drug song was ass, bro.
Section of 67.
That drug song was ass, bro.
While seemingly standing at the gas station, someone would approach him and begin shooting, hitting him numerous times.
I'm getting a call of three-person shot, 517-67 at the car. And double check and let me know.
Check right now.
Says it's a guy laying on the ground shot. They hung up before any more info. 363 David around 67 at Everhart got a male black shot multiple times.
They talk fast. They talk faster than I do. Shit.
Actually, 323, go with your person shot from 67 info.
First name Glendale. That's George, Lincoln, Eddie, Nora, David, Adam, Lincoln, Eddie. Date of birth is going to be...
Serious stuff like this, huh?
Okay, critical.
This was another violent day in Chicago, and in the Woodlawn neighborhood alone, 4 people got shot, including a 4-year-old boy. But thankfully, everyone was seemingly
These houses be looking real similar, bro.
Glenn would post on his social media thanking everyone who had checked on him after the shooting. Then a few days later, he would also send a message to everyone that wanted to see him dead. This message likely being pointed particularly towards the Bloodhounds in Drill City, who had previously been close with Trap City, but now wanted them dead. Some months would pass, but then in December 2023, Lil Jeff and Vert would release the song Stretched, together with a music video. Lil Jeff begins his verse by saying how he caught someone lacking at the store and shot him 5 times, after which someone who he calls his cuz gave him 10 more. Notably, the amount of shots mentioned by Jeff is the exact same that Q50 would later say in the song Splash Bros, with Q50...
He said the same thing bar for bar, bro.
Station where Glenn was shot indeed has a small snack and grocery store. And once again, the dissing would continue a few months
That's
later,
crazy.
in March 2024, when Jeff, together with JB Bin Laden, would drop a music video for their song Run But Can't Hide. And in his verse, Jeff once again mentioned shooting someone outside of a store, this time specifying that this was in broad daylight and that his switch had made his victim use the stop, drop and roll technique that's taught to kids in case their clothes catch on fire. After Jeff's death, Q50 would join in on the Glenn disses too, with one of his first direct mentions of Glenn in fact being in Jeff's song In Your Home that featured both Q50 and Vert, which was released as part of Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood. And in his verse, Q50
They need to look to this, bro. This shit's fire.
blocks and how he left a person on the floor before specifying that he's talking about Glenn. And then, in his first solo song after Jeff's death, Tried to Make It Far, Q50 raps how he's up 8 hats, meaning bodies, but would have been up 10 if 2 of his victims hadn't survived, one of these victims seemingly being Glenn. In fact, Q50 would spin back to reference his 2
He done said this a few times, bro.
762, but this time saying their names, rapping how he would have been up 10 bodies if it wasn't for Glenn and a person named Spoonie surviving. But perhaps the wildest reference...
That's crazy. That's crazy.
...in the song Splash Bros. And I'm not even talking about him mentioning Glenn by name, because later in that song, Q50 raps how he should have seen his victim's face trying to eat chips when Q50 bailed out of a Nissan Maxima. And as it just so happens, the car used by the suspects in Glenn's shooting was indeed that very car model, a Nissan Maxima, with the police even getting the license plate number for that car, but the plates would turn out to be stolen from another vehicle.
Oh, damn, brother.
They left in a gray Nissan, unknown direction. Gray Nissan plate, unknown direction.
Yeah, but you have a plate for that gray Maxima Nissan. It's gonna be Frank Paul. Last thing going southbound on Everhart.
Last thing southbound on Everhart from 67 is well, that Frank Paul one comes back to a blue 2022 Toyota, okay?
These are some absolutely wild references to a seemingly real attempted murder case, but once again, it appears that nobody's been arrested, and thus there is seemingly no real evidence to tie anybody to the shooting. Interestingly, after the security video of Jeff's kid...
I don't want everybody on NFL, bruh. 49ers lost, Coach lost. I don't hear nothing, bruh. And apparently the Saints are good. I don't know what's going on in the NFL this season, bruh. I don't know what's going on.
Who Jeff had been trying to shoot down when he was caught off guard and killed himself, with some people actually claiming the yellow shorts to have been none other than Glenn himself, with Jeff then allegedly spinning back almost a year later to try and finish the job.
There's no way.
No facts about exactly who the yellow shorts actually
There's no
was.
way.
Even the person that Lil Jeff's alleged killer, I Trap Rob, would claim to be him. This is a guy called Man or Mainski, seemingly turning out not to be the actual yellow shorts. But the praised Chiracologists would get so confused about the mystery of who was wearing the yellow shorts that day that they would even confuse Glenn and Man to be the same person. Other people have thought the yellow shorts to be a man called Trey, who would post himself with Lil Jeff's alleged killer, I-Trap Rob, only a few days after Jeff's death. Astonishingly, Trey is an actual blood brother of Jeff's very close friend and Bloodhound member Vert. This would certainly put Vert in an unbelievably difficult and uncomfortable position after his friend Jeff was killed by friends of a blood relative. But whether Trey was the yellow shorts or not, it's clear that Vert's relationship with his big brother is probably not what it used to be, as Trey would only pose with Jeff's alleged killer for photos just a few days after his death, and also dissing Jeff in that same post, with this prompting Vert himself to hop on his brother's comments and diss either him, Rob, or both of them. Anyways,
you got beef with your having beef with your older brother is insane. That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Cousins, you feel me? You feel me? Brothers is insane. That's crazy.
And another UUW for an automatic weapon or machine gun. There's been much confusion about his arrest online, as Q50 would be arrested a second time in 2024, with this arrest that time seemingly happening outside the city limits of Chicago, which is likely why that arrest can only be found on Cook County Sheriff's website, not on CPD's, and also why his court location is marked as Skokie, which is outside of Chicago. However, the Cook County website does not list the charges that Q50 was arrested for, therefore we don't know what his most recent charges are yet. But what we do know is that after the reported 2023 arrest, Q50 would seemingly already be released just a few days later, and he would return right back to the streets to cause even more havoc.
We got about 40 minutes to go. God damn.
As I discussed in depth in my Lil Jeff video, in early 2024, Lil Jeff, together with several other accomplices, would allegedly commit two of their most highly publicized murders, killing two high school students named Monterio Williams and Robert Boston, also known as Monty and Lil Rob, after Monty had allegedly stolen some jewelry from Jeff. These teens were all the way from the west side, but attended a high school in downtown Chicago, where they would be gunned down in a brutal assassination-style attack immediately after leaving their school. And a few weeks later, Lil Jeff would drop his most popular song,
A few weeks is crazy.
The video for the song now being a 4 million views, with the whole song appearing to be dedicated as a diss song towards these two slain teens, with Jeff essentially laying out the details of these murders for the whole world to hear. The popularity of this song would push Lil Jeff's rap career to the next level, and seemingly pushed him to amp up his already out of control antics on social media. Ironically, one of Lil Jeff and Q50's favourite hobbies was seemingly robbing people of their jewelry, and in early May, they would once again catch a new lick, proudly showing their bounty off on social media, with Lil Jeff's hand and his new allegedly stolen watch still having blood on it from seemingly bleating up or shooting their victim. The victim would turn out to be a man called 6300 Breddo, who Jeff and Q50 would out during one of their many Instagram lives.
I'm gonna show y'all who the guy is. I'm mad. One number, it was his number. I'm gonna show y'all. It's them right up. Ooh, he ain't have none of this. What a person is. Man, look, we exposed this. We got an AP already, Skull. I'm having my way in Chicago, Illinois. Hey man, get up here. They should never been trying to kick it down Atlanta Green. That's it, $10. It cost him his whole hustle career. And then he worked hard for it.
Q50 would later also talk about this event in his songs, like the song Make It Far, where he raps how they smacked both Breddo and his girlfriend when they robbed him.
God damn.
With a set called TMC, located on the west side near Marquette Park. This set also having a rapper called...
Now they crazy. They crazy for sure.
You're watching a toothbrush.
Alright, man. Come on now. Come on, man.
TMC Slide, who had been putting out music for several years. Soon, after the alleged robbery, Breddo would go on Instagram Live several times together with his TMC friends like Slide and another rapper called Nutso, seemingly in an effort to save face after this debacle.
Shout that screenshot that. Shout straight. Blood, up $1. Screenshot that. Hey, don't forget this cash. Get the hold on. Oh, good. Oh, good.
It's like YB in the back. I knew it. If I hear YB anywhere, I know the song immediately.
escalate again very quickly, and just about a week later, something would seemingly happen to TMC Slide, with Q50 hopping on social media to declare that Slide was now deleted and out of the picture. Jeff would even go on Instagram Live around this time, saying that he was now up 11 bodies. However, this would seemingly be around the same time when an alleged member of the A-Tray mob called Baby KD, real name Khalil Dunbar, would also be killed, and he too would get associated with being one of Jeff's victims in online rumours, but Lil Jeff's Live saying he had 11 bodies could seemingly be claiming either one of these people.
I'm bad, dog.
However, in Slide's case, there would be confusion about what exactly had happened and whether or not Slide was even dead, with Jeff even making a post saying, "Is he dead or alive?" before saying that he knows the truth, but that ops don't want to tell, as well as saying, "Pull the plug," making it seem as if Slide was perhaps only being kept alive with the help of life support. The Slide would then seemingly return to his social media, posting how he was out of the country on a holiday in the Dominican Republic, telling people to stop calling his phone. However, based on his social media, it seemed like this trip had likely been all the way back in March 2024. But still, someone would also go live on his Instagram account, seemingly whilst being somewhere with palm trees. Interestingly, this person would never show their face to the camera.
It's a clone, it's a ghost. Y'all ain't talking about. Yeah, this Glide, this the clone. This Slide V2. Y'all first one up, remember? Let me pay in your comment, cause you a goofy. Right, they talking about Slide got killed, Slide this, Slide that. Slide is on live right now, out the country. You broke ass, you got a passport. What the are you talking about? Y'all say y'all did something to who?
Meanwhile, Jeff would keep trolling Slide, going live from LA where he was on a trip with Vert and Lil Scoom, saying how he hadn't heard from Slide since he had crashed into a building. This seemed to be one of the first clues about what had actually happened to him, as well as once again saying to pull the plug on his life support.
I ain't heard from that Slide, man, since he crashed into that crib, man. Slide got broke from life support. I say, all my pain keep me going. Slide getting annoying. I just want to see them pull the plug. I want to see them go from life support. They don't respect me no more. They don't love me no more. They ain't feeling my song. Is he dead or alive? I don't know what I'm lying. Cause you know that he died. But they steady lying. They keep trying to keep it quiet. The other side know that I'm gon' slide. No, I'm down the ride. They pop my pants, my man, he ain't there. I'm in the sky. I'm in LA right now.
At the end of May,
he could have made that to a whole song.
A story saying that people are delusional and they should stop acting like Tupac is still alive. He would also update his body count, saying on a Facebook post how he's now up 8, whilst back in March 2024, his kill count had seemingly still been at 7. At the time, it wouldn't yet be clear if he was referring to KD or Slide, but this would seemingly change when Q50 would drop the song Make It Far, where he raps how he now has 8 bodies, even though people are still trying to claim his last victim as alive, with this being a rather obvious reference to Slide. In June, Vert 2 would join in on dissing Slide, posting a story on his IG, asking Slide to post a picture or something to prove that he's still alive and well. However, once again, Slide's Instagram account would come back to life as someone would post a story asking why people think he's dead, as well as pointing out that no media outlet such as the legal help firm Facebook page that posts a lot of people that have been killed in Chicago had posted anything about Slide. However, someone would comment on a post about Slide's social media posting that his sister knows Slide's family and that he was indeed fighting for his life, and that it was in fact Slide's brother who was using his Instagram account. And then, as Q50 would begin posting more music around July 2024, as well as many of his songs getting leaked, there would be an abundance of new Slide disses dropping too. In the song Splash Bros, he would rap about how Slide had seemingly gotten shot a month ago, and that since then he hadn't been talking. This song then likely having been made around mid-June. In his next officially released song First Day Out, Q50 would claim that Slide had gotten shot before crashing his car, and in a leaked song with Lil Scoom titled
That picture funny as shit.
That Slide had gotten shot with a 10mm pistol, and while in another leaked song titled Scarface, together with the Philly rapper Hood Tali, he would make perhaps his most revealing claim, rapping how the trenches know who had shot Slide, before saying how the fact that people are claiming that he's still alive is really bothering him. Meanwhile, members of TMC would do a hood vlog with On a Couch TV, where they would also comment on Slide's current situation, seemingly admitting that he had indeed gotten shot, but also saying that he's still alive and doing good, as well as implying that the Bloodhounds just like to troll about everything.
Yeah, speaking on that too, like recently it's been a lot of controversy over somebody named Slide from TMC. The fans wanted me to ask y'all like, what's up with that? Because they see him posting on Instagram, but a lot of people be trolling.
Let me say something.
Y'all gonna get these, y'all gonna get these hood vloggers or these people who do videos in these cities. Y'all gonna get them hurt with these questions, bro. They could have knocked him out. They could have knocked him out behind that.
Look, folks up, dog. You see what I'm saying? Folks do a lot different. They ain't got else to do. You see what I'm saying? So they ain't got as much money as folks. They ain't deal with folks that did. You feel me?
Yeah, because I even seen a video on YouTube, but I'm going live. I'm like,
look, they gonna keep bringing folks' name up, folks. They gonna keep doing all type of. But folks good though. Ain't nothing wrong with folks. Folks good though.
Yeah, I would have turned around immediately. Oh, I was gonna say.
We in Chicago, bro. Everybody get shot, bro. Everybody get shot. Bro, my kid, everybody don't got 400,000, 500,000. What happened to they homies though? Same time they troll Slide, but they homies was dead on folks.
God damn.
It be clowns, man. Folks still alive, breathing, talking. They homies can't do none of that type.
So at that point, you feel like it'd be like the internet. They probably geek people up out there.
Got these people brains, man. The internet got these. Oh, mouth stuff, bro. They do anything. Why did you stay speaking on the name on the internet anyway? Like, why are you on the internet doing all that? We don't overdo that, dude. I don't be trolling. I don't do that, bro. I don't be trolling. I don't even play like that. I don't troll, nigga, because we gonna keep that last one like we said. Baby, bro, be over trolling, nigga. But look, I don't be really, playing with these.
After all this time, it's still not clear what happened to Slide, and news reports and even platforms like the Spot News seem to have gotten very little information that would help clarify this mystery. Moreover, Slide's friends and even family appear to be completely radio silent on social media when it comes to his current situation, although what can probably be inferred is that Slide is likely facing some kind of life-altering injury. But while the Bloodhounds were still gleefully trolling Slide and implying that they were behind his sudden disappearance, they too would suddenly experience two enormous losses back-to-back, losing both of their biggest rappers in a very short span of time during the bleak summer of 2024. After spending 3 years waging war in Trap City and beyond, and after allegedly claiming the lives of 11 people, unfortunately for the Bloodhounds, in early June the now infamous day would come when Lil Jeff would lose his life while once again sliding on his most personal rivals, Trap City, and getting gunned down by an unknown person whilst chasing the man wearing yellow shorts into a house. Now, if you want the full breakdown of the death of Lil Jeff, go and check out the full documentary I made about his life. But as already mentioned in the intro, Q50 was allegedly right there with Jeff, with the surveillance video.
I can't believe when the video came out, bro. They had thought he was the one, like in the yellow.
That car was driven by a woman who would then seemingly
crazy.
contact the police after crashing her car about 2 miles drive away from the scene.
I gotta use you for this covert mission because we got a victim saying that she was shot at 6-7 in Rose. Her car is damaged. I'm trying to see what unit from 7 is sitting over with her. She's at 6-7 in Foster right now. I'm trying to get more information from her. They gonna take the crash because she crashed at 6-7 in Austin, but they need a car over there to verify that she was involved in the shooting or not.
The woman would seemingly also tell police that she had witnessed the shooting and that she was willing to cooperate with them.
321, you're going to take her to 3 or public compulsion or what you want us to do? She said she did witness the shooting, right? How far she saw people that jumped out the vehicle and she was there. Do you want her to take her up to 3 as witness? Because she did witness the shooting and she's cooperating.
I mean, if she's cooperating, then I'm assuming her car doesn't work at the moment because of the accident.
321, is that correct? Her vehicle's not working?
Alright, so if they just want to bring her back here, we can grab everything that we need and then maybe we can get her a ride home if she needs one, then that's not a problem.
Meanwhile, Q50 and the other Bloodhounds would allegedly take Jeff's body to a nearby hospital, where Q50 would allegedly be captured by the security camera in the same outfit from the drill, carrying Jeff with another man who couldn't be identified. But there was nothing to be done, and Jeff would already be dead on arrival.
Yeah, last name's gonna be Harris, J Jeffrey, July 12, 2002.
That's the DOA?
Yeah.
The fate of the man wearing the yellow shorts, on the other hand, was seemingly unclear, even for the police, at least immediately following the shooting, as there appeared to be confusion whether there even was a second-person shot or not.
If I'm not mistaken, the second-person shot has nothing to do with us. We only got the one GSW that just became a 0110. Okay, do you guys know where it was originated as? Like it's in the district car, or it's not for CPD? When I talked to my car that was at the hospital earlier, they said that there was another officer there, but I can confirm for you and see if they make sure that there's an actual officer there for that second GSW. Okay, Trevor, I haven't gotten any more calls from the hospital, but Providence is calling now as well. They want to know what we're doing with the car from my first person shot. Says it's still there, blocking traffic. Alright, so the GSW to the chest, clearly that's the current one that we're on that 324 hits for the paper. The other victim was our GSW from earlier from Providence, and then they transported themselves again to UFC. Apparently he walked off and didn't want help. That is that gentleman's car that is left at Providence. He wanted nothing to do with it. He just walked away from us. He wanted no services at all. And then the paper car from that, which is 13, they're going to see if they have maybe a
This is so confusing, bro.
They don't know if they do. But other than that, the car was released per the detective. The car is not blocking because I was able to drive past it.
But after Jeff's death, the Bloodhounds would react on social media, with Vert saying how he'll cry later, while seemingly implying that now was time for revenge. While Lil Scoon would post how Lil Jeff's death didn't even feel real. Q50, meanwhile, would make several social media posts in the days following Jeff's death, seemingly saying how Jeff had told him that the gang life wasn't going to do nothing but turn him worse, and that he's done crying and will do what Jeff had told him to do. But whether this meant doing music and getting rich, or continuing sliding on the ops, is unclear. Q50 would also say how he and Jeff had done everything together, from girls to robbing to seemingly killing people, and that he's built for this life and will perform for Jeff, as well as making a truly telling post saying how Jeff had died just how he wanted to, chasing his ops. A few weeks later, it would be time for Jeff's funeral, where the Bloodhounds, Drill City, and their affiliates would seemingly be in full attendance, including people like Vert, Scoop, JB Bin Laden, MTV Cash, and the NLMB rapper Big Op. Soon after, Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood would drop, with guys like G Herbo, who would also feature on the album, posting a tribute to Jeff. The album would also drop through Herbo's good friend and fellow NLMB veteran Lil Bibby's Grade A Productions label, foreshadowing how Q52 would eventually sign with the same label. But meanwhile, the Bloodhounds' biggest ops, Trap City, who had allegedly just killed one of the Bloodhounds' most important members in self-defense, would begin to understand that the limelight was also on them now, and they would begin to engage in the beef much more publicly. Spearheaded by the alleged Lil Jeff Killer and the leader of the new Unk Gang movement against the young
Unk Gang is crazy, bro.
Rob, who despite being much more mature and peace-pushing in his overall message, would also post how he can't wait until all the Bloodhounds are dead. One of the alleged Yellow Shorts candidates, Man or Mainsky, would post how they stood on business for his little brother, which is likely a reference to Leo, but also saying how they won't stop until the rest of the Bloodhounds are dead. The same message would also appear to be echoed by the young Trap City rapper Tero, who would even release a song with a music video titled Dead Troll, with that title being an obvious reference to Lil Jeff. And in the song, Tero raps how someone thought he was bulletproof but died off the first shot, and that their ops better fall in line because the last guy who tried to slide didn't make it, as well as saying that the dummy died on the hit, calling him Bugs Bunny. Tero would also post a story on his Instagram about how he wants all the Bloodhounds gone and how people's favourite rapper is now pending, which would likely be a reference to Q50 in particular. Because about a month after Jeff's death, in early July, Q50 would begin his now much more serious solo rap career, dropping the music video for his new song, Make It Far. The song would start with an audio recording of Jeff seemingly dissing Lil, with Q50 repeating the same lines about the Draco making sure his ops didn't make it out the car. The song would open with what would become Q50's most infamous lyric, where he openly claims to have killed 8 people, rapping, "They like, damn 50, is you really up 8 hats? I would have been up 10 to
Yes,
a check."
bro.
With violent bars where Q50 would refer to various ops by name. Many of those lyrics have been mentioned earlier in this video. The song had a booming yet haunting beat, which was the exact kind.
Sorry, this ain't got shit to do with this video, and I shouldn't be saying this. They benched Bryce Young. The Panthers benched Bryce Young, bro.
But laid-back style that fans of Jeff and the Bloodhounds were now fiending for.
It's a bad trade, bro. That's a bad trade, bro. It's a bad trade. Benching him is crazy. I'm sorry.
This being something that even Lil Jeff wasn't able to do whilst he was alive, showing that Q50 was now the leading rapper from the Bloodhounds, and also showing that Jeff's death and the infamy that followed as people would learn about his story was now pushing the popularity of Q50's music to completely new levels. Q50 Q50 was also clearly making more effort on the mic, and the overall production quality had improved greatly from his first songs. However, despite Q50 grabbing the torch from Jeff as the most lit rapper affiliated with the Bloodhounds, unfortunately, only a few days later, the Bloodhounds would experience another enormous loss, this being one of the other most buzzing rappers associated with their block, as their close friend and affiliate Lil Scoom would be gunned down around midnight on the 7th of July, a few hours after seemingly
I don't know if Jeff tall or Scoom short. I'm kind of confused. I think Scoom's just short though.
11-minute drive west from Lil Scoom's
I mean, he's younger, but
the house also being close to the old Burnside stomping grounds of Lil Jeff. A security camera footage of this visit would later get leaked online, showing an annoyed and perhaps somewhat nervous-looking Scoom arriving on the porch of the house together with a male friend and two other people. One of these being a woman who attempts to let them in the house without seemingly having the keys. If the time on the camera is correct, this would have been around 9:21 p.m. Then, at around 11:50 p.m., the police would get an alert of shots fired near the house that Scoom had apparently visited.
Bringing in 24 rounds, 655 East 89th Place, multiple shooter, high capacity, and the second shot fired for an additional 7 rounds at the same address, all coming from the side of the building.
Soon after, the police would get notified of a man with gunshot wounds sitting in an Uber about a 0.8-mile drive away from the scene. This person, who would turn out to be the friend of Lil Scoom, would tell the police that there's another person shot at the scene of the shooting. However, this is where events turn somewhat strange, because as the officers would seemingly arrive at the scene of the shooting about 6 minutes after getting the first notifications of shots fired, at least one suspect would seemingly still be at the scene and would begin to shoot in the direction of police before running away.
Damn.
264 squad, just confirming, do we have a location where that person was shot? Just watch the spot. Just. Oh, try one. Hey, no, please. Hey, look.
10-1-89 to St. Lawrence. Shots fired at the police. 89 to St. Lawrence. Shots fired.
About 700 East 89 place. 700 East 89 place.
10-1, they're shooting at the police. 700 East 89 place. They're shooting at the police. Need more cars over there. 700.
God damn.
They're shooting at the police. 10-1.
And anytime police get shot at, there will generally be numerous patrol units arriving.
They gonna go in herds.
Immediately be sent to that location. Unfortunately, soon after this, the police would find Scoom laying on the ground near the possible location of the house seen in that security footage, with several gunshot wounds to his chest.
Person shot over here.
Alright, what is the good address?
727 East 89 place.
727 East 89 place for a person shot. We'll get the ambulance rolling.
We got a male, black. He's unresponsive.
The police would then begin a systematic search of the area to find the suspect or suspects who had just taken off.
6:30 out.
6:30 out.
So I set up a perimeter, just have everybody get 3 to 4 blocks north, south, east, and west, and do a systematic search.
But then things would keep getting stranger, as the police were then notified that the possible suspect was still on the same street, only about 0.1 miles away from the shooting scene, reloading his gun in front of a building.
And for the units on scene for the 10-1, we got another call for the 10-1 at 619 East 89th place, and a male black with a white do-rag, dark sweatshirt, standing in the doorway of the building, reloading. He shot at the police. We advise use caution for 619 East 89th place. Is a male black reloading a gun for a citizen wearing a dark sweatshirt with a white do-rag on his head, standing in the doorway. 619 East 89th place.
Now, one would think that with all the police seemingly now at the scene, surely this suspect would be arrested promptly, but this was not the case, and the police were still not able to capture him, and they would continue combing through the area, where they would soon locate bullet cartridges at the shooting scene, with at least some of these being rifle rounds, likely indicating that this had been an orchestrated attack, and not, for example, a sudden argument leading to a shooting.
Charlie, we got a few rounds in the intersection of 89th and Langley, and there's also rifle rounds in front of 652 East 89th place, just for officer safety.
The police would also find out that Scoom and his friend had been able to get in an Uber before the shooting began, with the friend seemingly being able to escape in the Uber, while Scoom would unfortunately not be as lucky, as he would later pass away at the University of Chicago Medical Center, the same hospital where Jeff had been taken.
Man, stop going to that shit then, bro. I'm sorry. Stop going there, bro. Go somewhere else.
Meanwhile, more calls would keep coming in. They're now
What about universities in Chicago though? I think obviously they got like Northern Illinois. Isn't that Chicago? I know they got Northwestern. I think that's in Chicago. I don't know what's in Chicago, bro. All I know is they got the bean. That's all I know about Chicago. They got the bean and they got the little port, the Chicago port. What that's called? I don't know. I don't know about Chicago.
What time did the Durango and the 3 guys come up?
We got that one, one at 2352 for the Durango and the 3 guys, and then we got another call for East 7 and Cottage that just came out at 3 minutes after midnight. This one said that there was 2 guys with 1 gun. They were chasing someone, a male black wearing all
was circling the area, with someone yelling from the car, possibly looking for the suspects in order to pick them up. The location of this sighting once again being only around 0.1 miles away from where Scoob had been found, and the behaviour of the driver perhaps indicating that this may have only happened after the suspects had shot the police and ran away from the scene.
Yeah, we were walking around the alley. We heard somebody scream, came out. Witnesses told me that in the 700 block of 90th Street, black car just came, screamed, and then continued driving. So possibly looking for offenders, trying to pick them up or something, so keep an eye out.
Alright, 10-4. Alright, for the units I'm seeing over there, actually 642 per citizen was walking around the alley near the 700 block of 90th Street. There's a black sedan that's circling the area, screaming out, I guess possibly looking for the offenders and trying to pick them up. Guys, so use caution.
But even with all of this information, no suspects will be captured, and the case seemingly remains open. However, in online rumours, certain people have been connected to the case, particularly a girl called Nini, who some claim to be the fourth person in the porch video who can be seen looking at their phone behind the others. Soon after Scoom's death, screenshots would begin to be posted on sites like Reddit, seemingly showing the
That's
girl
a damn shame, bro.
exposing Nini for setting Scoom up, saying how Scoom had come to her to get his hair done, seemingly accompanied by his friend, and that girl Nini, who had then allegedly behaved weirdly, sneaking often to the bathroom to allegedly text Scoom's killers. Screenshots would also be posted allegedly showing how Nini was scared for her life now and planning to leave Chicago. And not long after, there would be an update of Nini allegedly posting herself on an aeroplane with the caption, "New Life."
You can nah, bro. That's so bogus, bro.
Easier than you ever
New
thought
life,
possible.
bro.
If you could try something.
Bro, imagine that's your grandma, bro. Imagine like 30 years that's your grandma, bro. That's you thinking grandma this perfect? Nah, bro. That's crazy.
However, not everyone
That's
on Reddit
crazy.
is buying this theory, and some would argue that Nini was only being used as a scapegoat to distract from the real perpetrators.
I
Other
mean-
rumors about the murder seem to place the blame particularly on a set called Risky Road, who were located around 104th and Maryland in the North Pullman neighborhood and the far south side area. This is in fact the hood where incarceration
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was
is
thinking.
originally from. And it appears that Risky Road and the Bloodhounds have been having some kind of beef even before Jeff's murder, as one of their most popular rappers called Risky Bands would post some stories in early June dissing Q50 by claiming that he had gotten the Bloodhound member Hothead beaten up in prison. There would also be some rumours that Scoom or the Bloodhounds may have had something to do with one of Risky Road's members getting killed, Scoom's murder then allegedly being a get-back for this. Then, already the following day after Scoom's murder, Risky Bands would make a cryptic post that some Redditors would read as him claiming Scoom's murder. Soon, more rumours would come out pointing the finger at Risky Road, but to be clear, for now there is seemingly no credible evidence against Nini, Risky Road, or anyone else for that matter. As Q50 would find out about Scoom's passing the next day, he would simply post WTF on his Instagram story along with a picture of the two together, likely reflecting just how dumbfounded he was to find out he had now lost two of his best friends in just 1 month's time. About a week later, Q50 would drop a music video for the song 333 that also featured posthumous verses from Lil Jeff and Scoob, with the whole song and video recorded before their deaths. 333 would end up getting Q50 his first million views in less than 1 month, and despite all the losses he was facing, Q50 wasn't slowing down, dropping the music video for the song Splash Bros just 2 weeks later, this one now being over 1 million views too. Splash Bros started with another tribute to Jeff, with Q50 saying "Long live King Draco" and saying rather menacingly "Long live my brother, he probably killed your brother." And the track had back-to-back violent bars all about specific crimes, which we've already discussed earlier in this video. Now Splash Bros is one of my favourite Q50 songs and has a surprisingly upbeat melody and beat which comes in stark contrast to Q50's
I think that's a different song. That's the first day out.
Lyrics. Q50 was now one of the hottest artists coming out of Chicago, but unfortunately there appeared to be some internal friction within the Bloodhounds.
What's on my hair? Hold on, what's on my hair, bro?
Q50 had seemingly stopped following Vert on Instagram. Vert would also make a post saying that he doesn't have a manager, which would make some people seemingly think that he had been dropped by the same management that was now handling Q50's career. Soon,
But
Reddit would be filled
AMF or
with
whatever.
different theories as to why the two began beefing. Some were claiming that Vert was being too close with his old friends from Trap City, if there would even be an alleged phone conversation between Vert and Jeff that would be leaked, where Vert would appear to say that he missed his friends from Trap City, which Jeff would surprisingly agree with, before Vert even seemingly saying that they were now even with Trap City, which seems to point to the murders of Z Money and the revenge killing of Leo.
What we gonna do? We there, we gonna, you know, we got that long, you know. The warrior one. I'm not gonna get it, nobody look at that. But look, I was just talking to my peoples. But look though, like, I ain't gonna lie, I missed the hood for we on weed, we not finna be killing each other, none of that, folks.
with a rather random meme about the smelling bad taking off on Reddit and social media like wildfire, as people will begin to make funny posts about other bloodhounds supposedly reacting to Vert's funky owner in interviews and music videos.
Y'all funny. Nah, y'all funny. Y'all funny.
However, Q50 would eventually comment on their relationship during an Instagram live, saying that Vert's his brother and they'll never fall out, but he'd just been mad at him about something for a moment.
Look on all that first, my brother game. Stop all that. I'm not into it, my brother, man. What's wrong with y'all, bro? My dead homie. That is my brother game. He'll never fall out over shit. I just was mad at folks for a little bit, that's all.
It seems that the two are back on good terms now, and Q50 is back following him on Instagram. Meanwhile, in late July, Q50 would be arrested, sending the Reddit and social media into a frenzy, as people thought that he was finally getting caught up for all the murders he was claiming in his songs and on social media. Things would be particularly confusing, as people would take his seemingly earlier 2023 charges from CPD's website, but apply them to the latest arrest, even though the Cook County Sheriff's website that lists his recent arrest doesn't include any details about his charges. People would also get confused by the fact that he had no bond, thinking that this was a sign of how serious his charges were, without realizing that Illinois had in fact ended the cash bail system already in September 2023, this in fact happening even before Q50's first arrest later that same month. Even Q50's ops were rejoicing, with one Trap City member posting, "Let's see if you can fight," together with Q50's mugshot, while a 9-5 mob member would post how he's going to do something dumb just so he can get into the county jail to fight with Q50. But then, strangely, only a few days after his arrest, Q50 would be back in the streets like nothing had happened. And only about a week later, he would drop another song with a music video aptly titled First Day Out. The music video beginning with pictures of social media posts about his arrest before showing him walking out of the Cook County jail. Q50 would then begin his verse using his now trademark catchphrase, "They like damn 50, whilst commenting on some of the wild...
Excuse me, sir, would you like to earn income while you learn how to code?
Yeah, dog. Tell me more about that?
Yeah,
Death
dog.
Slopes helps you earn income while learning how to...
How much time I got left?
Wildest rumors
Boy, I got like 4 minutes. I didn't did it. I didn't did it.
Jail for longer because they hate to see him free. He would then continue his other new trademark style by dropping names of numerous ops that the Bloodhounds had allegedly done something to, such as a Trap City member called T3, who Q50 would claim had gotten hit with a switch, another Trap City member called VI, who he would claim had gotten his kit or jewelry taken from him, and then of course a reference to murdered Trap City member Leal, as well as throwing a bonus diss towards the recently killed member of the 800 set called TJ, who had been beefing with the Bloodhounds before his death. Q50 would also seemingly diss TMC Slide and a rapper called Trey Trey, or FBG Trey Trey, but this FBG isn't standing for FBG Duck's Flyboy gang, but actually the Free Band gang, as Trey Trey was also signed to none other than Atlanta Auto-Tune legend Future, before he and his friends would get into a deadly shootout on a freeway that would end in a crash, causing Trey Trey to lose his life in August 2023. Trey Trey was allegedly affiliated with a set called 10 Gang, also known as JMG or FBE, who were affiliated with some of the Bloodhounds' biggest ops, such as 8 Trey Mob, Evans Mob, and 9-5 Mob. Q50 would also aim his disses towards Lil Scoom's alleged killers, as he would rap how it's a long live Scoom and how he's going to kill a girl. This being a rather obvious diss towards that girl Nene, who had allegedly backdoored Scoom. This would also be around the time when many of Q50's old and new songs would begin leaking. One of these being a song titled Grade O, where Q50 would now aim his disses towards the Risky Road set, who had allegedly been the gunman behind Scoom's murder, rapping how he's driving through the hundreds trying to shoot a Risky Road member. The hundreds being an area in Chicago's South Side named after the street numbers that are literally in the hundreds, such as the 104th and Maryland that the Risky Road set claimed. The music video for the First Day Out song would once again gather hundreds of thousands of views, and it seems that Q50 is now well on his way to becoming the next big thing out of Chicago. But with the amount of dissing that he's doing and the enemies that he's making, it truly seems that him staying in Chicago can only end one of two ways. Bloodhound Lil Jeff left a menacing legacy in drill music in an incredibly short space of time. His brash claims of 11 bodies, which were seeded in his genuinely good rap songs, will likely fuel all kinds of theories and comparisons for years to come. But it's the way that Jeff lost his life that truly solidified his disturbing legacy, dying on camera trying to kill someone in their own home, just like he'd rapped about for the whole world to see. Lil Jeff truly lived what he rapped. Ultimately, his story ended in a way that was entirely predictable in hindsight. But the case of Q50, on the other hand, is much more perplexing. The fact he's running around Chicago, regularly releasing music which claims openly that he's killed 8 people is wild. Even more crazy, the fact that he was arrested briefly at the height of his attention following Lil Jeff's death and then swiftly released is even more confusing. Ultimately, Q50 is living a modern-day outlaw story in 2024. And while as a fan of his music, I certainly hope that he can continue using his talent to make art about his life that gives insight into a unique lifestyle on the fringes of society. But I'm saddened by the fact that we all know that the street life can only end one of two ways, especially when you've got 8 bodies. And while it's easy now, after being completely desensitized to the outrageously high body counts of people like Lil Jeff, compared to 11, 8 murders somehow seems tame. I'm not glorifying it or belittling the value of those 8 people that lost their lives, but it really goes to show you just how far the senseless devaluation of human lives has gotten in Chicago. Once was a time when King Von was the pinnacle of killer rapper, with his open claims of 7 bodies lighting the entire rap game on fire with theories about whether or not he really did it. But nowadays, the idea of Q50 having 8 bodies is not just believable, but not even that shocking. As I said, the street life can only end one of two ways when you're this deep in the violence. It's very possible
crazy,
in Q50's case, he may end up proving to be the counterpart to Lil Jeff's story, because if the notoriously lax Chicago police can catch up with him before his ops do, he very well may end up spending the rest of his days behind bars and bearing the consequences of this lifestyle that Lil Jeff narrowly avoided.
You gotta move or something, but shout out to Chapler Ross again. Like always, he does a great job with these documentaries. He does a really good job with these. I would expect Chicago scene to do one, so if he does one, let me know, whatever. Shout out to Q50. I like him as a rapper. He did improve. Like, I think the first song I heard from him was like maybe a few months ago, and he's improved a lot in a short time. So shout out to Q50. I ain't got nothing to say. If you make anything else, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, I'm out. Peace.